stands we have built, we wanted to create a electric-powered self-climbing tree stand platform. We're calling it a platform, not a stand itself, because it's a platform to hold the stand that each individual user would have too. And we would like to be able to accommodate stands from prominent companies in the industry like Lone Wolf, Foggy Bayou, Muddy Outdoors, Summit. There are multiple different brands that make their own stands. Each is a little different, but our design is universal enough to accommodate all of those. Today, there are 3 different major types of tree stands that you can use. There are ladder stands, hang-on stands, and manual climbing stands. The ladder stand is a ladder with a chair at the top of it, basically. You'd have to build it on the ground and then walk it, lift it, and walk it towards the tree, lean it up, climb up with it unsecured, wrap a strap around it. It's pretty unsecure, could be dangerous. Well, every stand is dangerous. Hang-on stands, they require the use of either screw-in steps or strap-on ladders or strap-on steps to climb the tree to your desired height, and then take the stand off of your back and hang it using a strap again. It's kind of hard to do. Or 2-piece climber stands. There's a part for your feet, and then there's a part that has a chair on it. You would move the upper half using your arms, and then use your core strength and lower body to raise the upper half to pretty much imitate an inchworm climbing up the tree. It's very physically demanding, and like I said, it's a little dangerous, but all of them. So to accommodate the rubber used to hang other types of stands, we designed our Angelo stand, our motor-driven self-climbing tree stand platform. We are currently using a Foggy Bayou cheap seat because that's what we had. It's available to us. Most of the tree stands on today's market range from about $130 to $300. It uses the weight of the hunter to apply a force into the tree, and that force into the tree allows the stand to climb itself up. There's a picture there. I'm sitting on it. I'm only about 4 or 5 feet off the ground at that point, but it was raising me up. Me in those boots, fully dressed like that, about 270 pounds, so pretty decent weight. We have a picture here. Lee's probably about 14 feet in the air there at full draw. We did a little bit of testing, a little bit of shooting on it, make sure it functions. And there's a video here of me riding up the tree. As you can see in this video, we have a rope attached to Lee, and then we have a belayer at the bottom of the tree there. Basically, if something were to break, he might swing a little bit towards the tree, but he's not going to plummet to the ground. Goes up quite well, and he stands up after that, but a little shaky. But you'll have.
So, just some specifications for our design. One of our goals when we were doing this project is we wanted to minimize the amount of damage that was done to the tree as it was climbing. And we were able to accomplish that compared to the stands that are on the market today. Bruce was mentioning the manual climbing stands, especially do quite a bit of damage because they dig into the tree as you're climbing. And unfortunately with ours, we were able to do minimal damage to the tree. The tires, at the most, they scrape off some mark as it's climbing, but it's minimal. It's not something that's going to do any sort of long-term harm. The weight of the stand ended up being about 175 pounds, so it's heavy as it is, but it's also overbuilt too. So we used big square steel box tubing because we didn't want to have to worry about structural failure. And we incorporated a safety brake too. So the electric winch has a dynamic braking system. So what that means is that as it's climbing, if you stop using the winch, the stand will stop as well because the winch has a built-in brake. But we also made a safety brake, so in case anything goes wrong with the winch brake, you have a backup system and you won't fall out of the tree. And so the driving motor is the 2,500 pound winch, and that's powered by a 12-volt battery. So our weight limit, we said it was about 275 pounds, and as it's built, like I said, it's overbuilt, and that weight limit isn't because of structural limitations as it sits. It's actually because of limitations from the winch. So if you consider the amount of torque that's required to climb the tree, you end up pretty close to about the 2,500 pound capacity of the winch. So that's why we have that 275 pound weight limit. Structurally, you wouldn't have a failure as it's built at that point. And to control the winch, you just have a small remote, and you can go up and down with that. It's a little remote.
Okay, so let's start getting into the actual design of the stand itself. So this was the previous prototype that we debuted in the fall for those of you that were here. It started off initially with a single drive wheel design. That was also the wheel that was mounted and driven by a 5/8 shaft made out of a round steel rod. We initially started with a 14 to 10 gear ratio. That was calculated based on the speed we were trying to achieve as it ascended up the tree. And it had a lot shorter moment arm, which was probably the biggest, or platform, we'll say, which was probably the biggest design change that you'll see coming up in the PowerPoint. We'll explain the reason for that. It started out initially, it was about 18 inches long, and you can see it on the tape out. It's fairly extended.
So through our testing, we realized we needed a much larger moment. So we added that 4-foot extension off the end. And then we also found that we needed to have more surface area to contact the tree. So we added a second tire. And that also allowed us to have like a centering function of the tree stand, so it helped the stand become a lot more stable. And then along with adding the second tire, we had a testing failure with the old shaft, so we increased the diameter of the new shaft to the point where we were comfortable that it wasn't going to fail on us. We added a brake, that way if anything happened with the chain or the sprocket, it's completely separate from the rest of the stand. That way there's nothing that's going to interfere with the brake that will stop it. We changed the gear ratio a little bit. Originally, we designed it for the speed of going the tree, and then we realized we really needed to design it for the torque for a while, so we slowed it down, so we climbed a lot slower, more stable. And it was no slow.
Okay, so now we'll talk about the calculations that we initially used and to justify the concept of what we're trying to achieve. So here we see our static equilibrium calculations. These are used to basically give us our loading within the structure along with the force that we were applying between the rubber tires and the tree. We did a calculation for both our minimum weight limit and our maximum weight limit. So those numbers, the 130 and the 275, are based off of our testing with the difference of how much the group members and myself weigh, and all of us riding it. So we started off with our maximum weight limit, that was 275, that was based on Bruce. Had no problem taking him up the tree, but at that point it seemed that we didn't want to go try to push it much more than that. Due to other testing and adding separate weights on the end of it, we figured that 130 would be a comfortable place to leave our minimum weight and would still allow the stand to have enough of a moment to grip the tree and safely ascend you up. So as we did the calculations, you can see the loading in the arms that are holding you there range from 1,600 to 3,400, depending on between your minimum and maximum. And then the force between the drive tires and the tree ranged from a little over 1,100 to 2,400, depending on between your 130 and your 275. Initially, they were a lot lower, with the lower moment arm, but we thought it was going to be sufficient, but we had to add more to it to get a lot more force to ascend the seat.
So with the larger moment, we thought it'd be a good idea to reanalyze the potential modes of failure for our system. So the yield strength of steel is 60,000 psi. So we looked at various portions of the stand, such as bending in the moment, shear stress of the pins, the axial stress that's in the arms. Our stresses were much lower than what the yield is. The worst safety factor is about 3.5, which is on the bending. So we're pretty confident that our system's not going to have any issues carrying out the weight that we intended it for.
All right, so now we're going to get into testing. So after our first test, we noticed a few things that were going to be problematic. The first thing that we really noticed was the actual platform of the stand was going to be too short, and this cause was more force would be going straight down instead of into the tree, and this caused the dynamic brake in the winch not to work properly. Another thing was the 14 to 10 gear ratio that we were using
was trying to ascend too quickly, causing the drive wheel to hop. And another thing is the single drive wheel just wasn't stable enough and tried to kick out to either side of the tree. So the first failure that we ran into, as you can see in the picture there, was the 5/8" drive axle just wasn't strong enough for all the torque of the winch. So later on we set that up to 1.5". And also the ATV battery that we were originally going to use didn't have enough life or cranking amps in order to get it up the tree multiple passes. So we ended up going with car battery instead.
All right, so even though there were some problems, we were able to get over every single one that we ran into. As you can see here, not very well, but this was the length of our original design. Now we extended this 4 feet. In order to decide how much we actually had to extend it, what we did was we took a pry bar, we stuck it in the original stand here, we put different weights in different increments, and then we decided, okay, you know what, 4 feet is what we need. Went to the shop, we designed a 4-foot piece, threw it on there, and it worked flawlessly. Another issue that we ran into, which you can see here, was the bracket for the winch. It wasn't built strong enough. It wasn't big enough. It wasn't beefy enough. So what we did was we added a couple supports, which you can see where this box is mounted here, which added the needed support that this prototype needed in order to work properly. And then it was mentioned that we had a 14 to 10 gear ratio, which was propelling up a tree way too fast. So this is actually the old sprocket here that we use, which, as you can see, it's just about the same size. We really beefed up the sprocket, which added a lot more torque and slowed it down, which very much helped this stand climbing up the tree. So once we did all of that, we had our prototype working. It was climbing up trees. It wasn't just climbing up a tree. It was climbing up multiple trees, multiple different times, multiple parts. It was a success. We had a couple issues. We were able to fix them, and we had to climb up multiple trees multiple times. So once we had this thing working to our expectations, we then decided, all right, now we have to do a couple more calculations. We have to decide how fast is this thing going? How well is it actually working? So what we did, as you can see in this picture here, with lovely Bruce behind me, of course, we have foot increments spray painted on the tree. What we did was we took this tree stand up with Lee on it, actually. We took this tree stand up 9 feet. It took us 24 seconds to go 9 feet. It took 8 seconds to go down. Now with those math calculations, it actually takes it is 3 times faster coming down due to gravity force, which is another reason that we integrated this braking system. So if somebody up there like Lee, who's a little shaky at the legs, has a hard time coming down real fast, he can sit in this stand and these brake levers right on your left-hand side. Slow down, that way you can go down at a safe speed to the operator.
You might be wondering, something this big, how are you going to get it in the woods? This little picture on the left here, that's Dan walking it over into the woods for testing. Pretty much you can grab a hold of it by the stand and lift it up, use it like a wheelbarrow, and push it wherever you want to go. It moves surprisingly well for something that's that large and weighs that much. We have a video here. This is Dan on the tree for video length purposes. You didn't go very high, but we got him to go up the tree safely, of course, with our bullying device. And once he gets up a little bit, he stays seated and goes to full draw and shoots at a target. Both of our archers that shot during testing, been hunting for many years, shooting bows for many years, so great shots. So no arrows were lost, no animals were harmed in the so you're aware. And then at the end of this video, it rides back down, and you can see how much faster it goes down, like it goes up. But Dan was brave.
So some future improvements that we want to make to the design. We want to reduce the weight of it by quite a bit. Right now it's very heavy. And to do that, we could use just smaller aluminum tubing. And we thought about doing that initially, but aluminum is very expensive. And we were more concerned about proving that we could make the stand climb up the tree than we were about the structure of it. So in the future, we could use aluminum tubing and make it easier little bit smaller to save some weight. And some extra safety considerations too. So we want to have a manual override for descending. This is something we didn't get a chance to design, but we were hoping to make it so that once you get up to the top of the tree, if there's any problem with the battery or the winch for any reason, you're not stuck up, 10 feet in the air. And there'd be something that you'd be able to descend with, maybe some type of manual crank. So that's an improvement we want to make in the future. And we want to improve the braking system too. So the way that it is right now, it doesn't lock into place. We want to make it so that it's essentially like a parking brake, so you can get up to the spot that you want to be, and then lock it in place so that in case anything goes wrong with the brake on the winch, you have that extra lock. So right now the braking system works, but it doesn't lock into place, so we want to design it so that we can lock it in place. And then just a simple thing, we want to relocate the winch, so it's located underneath the frame right now, and we would want to put it on top. We have room for that now, and that would just make it easier to move around. And here's a summary of our budget. So as we were going through testing, we had a couple part failures. And so some of the parts that we ordered, we didn't end up using in the final test. So an example of that is the smaller axle sprocket that was on the table. We had to buy a bigger sprocket to increase the gear ratio. And so some of the parts we ended up configuring differently throughout testing. And you can go to the next slide. So our total budget ended up being $750. We had the initial amount of $500 like everybody else did. Then we had a small extension of $250. So our total cost came out to about $10 less than the extension. We had some donated parts, some extra steel from the machine shop, from Lee, some hardware, remote batteries, a small amount, the snowblower wheels that are the 2 drive wheels, and
I'd like to give some special thanks to Dr. Carole Baddour. She's our advisor. She kept us on track all semester long, made sure we were getting in stuff when we were supposed to, making progress on our design and build. We'd like to thank Mr. Mitch Adams down in the machine shop. If it wasn't for him, some of that wouldn't be where it is. A lot of these projects here wouldn't be sitting in front of you. But we'd like to thank the Gustinucci family. They were very kind to let us use their property for testing purposes because there's not very many trees on campus. Unfortunately, there was a lot of rain the days that we tested. It still worked in the rain, but didn't make videos of those days for other reasons. But while it was raining, they let us hang out in their garage, wait out the weather. I'd like to thank Jill Price from Woods Adventure for giving us the laying device. And we'd like to thank Kate Klinger for coming along with us and playing while we were doing our testing. References, pretty much used all Dr. B's notes in class. And that's about it.
Great job, guys. I think you really encapsulated what the spirit of senior projects is in a lot of ways. You do the analysis, the physical build, the testing. I think you had fun with it. So, and I'll be the first to admit that I didn't think you would work last fall. I didn't think you would get up the tree. So, yeah, great job proving me wrong. I have a technical question for you. Why does it have a 45-degree angle, and why isn't it all just on the horizontal plane?
That's just where we started. Yeah, the diameter of the tree, so you can adjust the arms depending on, whether it's a large diameter or small. Based on the calculations, that's where we started. Once we figured out that the frame needed to be extended, we were going to too long to rebuild all that and try to change it to a 60-degree or even lower, depending on what to give us less of a length in the frame itself, and still get the torque needed. So we ended up just leaving it where we initially started, just for time reasons.
Would it still work? It was all.
No. That's really what's giving you your.
If you look at your traditional climbing tree stands today, they have a cable in the back which is higher than the base, which is the exact same concept that we tried doing here. So this force that's going to go into the back of the tree has to be higher than the force on the bottom, which is going to keep your platform from sliding backwards or down. It's giving you a lot more stability on the bottom plane.
Actually, I like the idea that you have that tilting so that it's sort of like automatically adjusting when the diameter becomes smaller and smaller.
Yes.
My concern is when it's really small or the difference is very big, then you have the seat down, facing down, right? So, the person is gonna face downward instead of horizontally.
Correctly, and what we did for that is we have these telescoping tubes here, so you can adjust the distance between these wheels. So on a tree that you know has a 2-foot base, but when you're 10 feet in the air, maybe it shrinks down to 1.5 feet. The idea is that you set it up on an angle, a little bit of an angle, so that as you go up the tree, you flatten out.
Okay, so you pre-calculate.
Exactly.
It's not like you can
Yes.
adjust it along the way.
Correct.
Okay. And the second
Just
question,
set the poles too, so you just put it right to the tree to start with.
but when you are on the tree, then you can adjust it, right?
Then don't try it on the tree.
Right. The second question, so you consider the diameter in that plane, but what about the width, the diameter?
Yeah, so,
Can you adjust?
yes, I don't know if you can see them, but there's 2 shaft collars on each side of the wheel. So just with an Allen key or anything, you can bring the wheel in and out.
But what if it's a really big one, it's even larger than the two frames?
Most standard tree stands only accommodate trees that are about 2 to 2.5 feet in width, which is what this is here.
Jason?
Your math section, you said the lowest amount of weight your tree can have is about 130 pounds, which just won't work. Do you think you can decrease that more if you're using studded tires?
Let me hit.
I pushed for that through the whole project, we tried to start it, and we tried it, and it didn't really make any difference, so they proved me wrong, so the answer to that question is no.
What's the largest tree diameter that you can accommodate?
2 feet, or I think it's 20 inches actually. We have 20 inches between the inside of the uprights here. So this distance here is about the maximum diameter calendar for it. Zach?
Happy birthday, Chris.
Sound, I was looking at documentation for the winch. It's rated at 85 decibels, so it is quite loud.
Scare away the deer.
It could potentially scare away the deer. A lot of times, like climbing a ladder, your gear is going to be clanking, it's going to make noise. So the 24 seconds that it took to get to the height, that 24 seconds of noise after a set amount of time, well, not a set amount of time because deer are unpredictable, but they'll come to you eventually.
Okay, I have 2 questions actually. First of which is, how do you manage the tree? Do you need to remove both the small tires?
You take the 2 pins out in the base of the frame and then slide that out. So you wheel the base up to the tree, take that piece that they have in their hand and slide it in.
Okay, and the second one is, how do you give a remote?
And there's a remote for that came with the winch. Pretty much you press the out button, it climbs up, press the in button, it shuts down.
Okay, very good job, very good comments, accurate comments as engineering, so that's really good job. So I'm really worried about the winch. So what if you stay up on the tree for 30 minutes, so the winch is idle, is there a clutch there or something like how is the motor? Because when the motor is not running, we know DC motors, right? So if it's not running and if it's just braking, it's not going to be very good. So is there a clutch there in the winch or something?
Planetary gears,
Planetary gears.
they all back off the opposite direction. No matter what.
So actually, if it's not moving, the motor is not moving, right?
Right.
So my question is, will the motor get caught, or I guess maybe you don't because of the commercial winch, you don't look into that.
It never did, and all the testing we did, they had me up 14 feet in the air, and nothing ever got warm on us, so.
Okay. One final question: did you ever do a failure test, which is when you're up in the tree, cut off the power, what actually it will happen?
The only time that the winch is powered is to go up, and then it's not powered, and then it's powered when it comes down.
I see. So that's why we're worried about that. Actually, So it's not running. It doesn't. If it's running, actually, I do it for like 30 minutes and not doing
It doesn't right.
So it's actually not running. So again, if this becomes a commercial product, you have to do that first, that failure test. You really have to say when you're up there somewhere in the middle of traveling, you cut off the power, what actually does that bridge kick in?
Right.
Okay, thank you.